a lot of movies that release nowadays end up being awful, so I don't get genuinely excited for a lot of releases anymore, but a film I had a lot of hope for that is absolutely dominating at the box office right now is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Everybody is raving about it. So many people are so pleased with the product, and while it's not quite hitting the Super Mario Brothers numbers, it is absolutely pummeling Disney's live-action Little Mermaid, leading to a lot of people questioning how much they are panicking behind the scenes right now. I have a few different things that I want to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content that I create, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media like Twitter or mine so that you can see when my content is posted. And of course, if you do really enjoy the videos and the live streams that I create, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon or a supporter via YouTube memberships. Now, starting with this Hollywood Reporter article, it says Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse swings to huge 120.5 box office opening. So the sequel opened to 120.5 million in North America, well ahead of expectations, and the third biggest opening ever for an animated film, as well as best ever for Sony Animation. Not adjusted for inflation, it's also the second biggest opening of 2023 to date. Now, that is not even mentioning overseas where it flexed its muscles, opening to 88.1 million from 57 markets for a worldwide bow of 208.6 million. So this is a fantastic number, and as it says, it is the third biggest opening ever for an animated film, and this isn't really what people were expecting with this movie. We expected it to do good, but I don't think people expected it to do this freaking amazing, whether that be the overall numbers or some of the some of the records that it's breaking. Again, third biggest opening ever for an animated film. Now, this is a very different story compared to some of the other films that have launched over the past few weeks, of course, specifically The Little Mermaid. Now, I've had to talk about The Little Mermaid a few times on the channel. It did good, but it did not do fantastic. It did not do amazing. It did not do the numbers Disney was expecting. As it says, The Little Mermaid takes Memorial Day weekend box office crown with a splashy 117.5 million debut, and of course this is in just North America. And it earned 185 million worldwide, and with Spider-Man being at 208, 25 million might not seem like a lot of money, but it is, judging by their budgets, okay? Spider-Man's budget was $100 million, so it's already doubled that, but Little Mermaid cost upward of $400 million. Disney must be hurting right now, because not only did Little Mermaid not hit the numbers they were expecting, and it isn't going to hit the projected numbers throughout its box office lifespan, and will barely make its money back, but it's getting beaten by Spider-Man. Disney has been focusing on live action, and they have been staying away from animated lately, but clearly that's what's doing good. Super Mario Brothers movie, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, the list goes on, and it seems like they are really losing their steam right now. And that's another film that I wanted to kind of bring into the discussion, because obviously I don't think we expected anything this year to beat the Super Mario Brother movie numbers. There were people that were saying Little Mermaid was going to beat these numbers. I do not see a way that is going to happen. But yeah, I mean, obviously Super Mario Brothers movie did such big numbers globally, 375 million globally to be exact, 204 million in the US, so Spider-Verse is not going to beat those, but it is still doing pretty freaking great, and people absolutely are loving just the content of this film, right? I mean, it's got near perfect scores online, a 95% critic and a 96% audience, and these are verified numbers, but the all audience and verified are only 1% difference, and the all critic and top critic are exactly the same, and people are just raving about this film. I've been figuring out when I can go see this movie again because I have to see it again. Great movie from beginning to end. Now, the largest problem that I have with this film, and most people giving it 4 and 5 stars, is the fact that it ends on a cliffhanger. But while I would usually be pretty upset about this, the fact that we don't have to wait 3 to 4 years for Beyond the Spider-Verse to release makes me feel better about it. Beyond is releasing in March 2024, which isn't that far away in reality, so I will give them a pass, but I hate when movies do this. I do not like cliffhangers, but that is the largest complaint that even I personally had with this movie. It is beautiful. The pacing was good. The balance of characters was fantastic. I mean, this film was so solid. It does deserve the hype that it's getting. Great movie, deserves multiple rewatches for all of the hidden details, fleshed out characters, and growth they experience. Such a great experience visually and from a storybook perspective as well. And of course, you guys know I don't really trust a lot of these aggregate websites, but going to something like IMDb as well, the scores are near perfect. With 63,000 reviews, it is sitting at a 9.1 out of 10. I felt that it was important to check around to make sure that, one site wasn't really propping up the numbers, and it doesn't seem like they are. I mean, 36,000 10 stars, 15,000 9 stars, 7,000 8 stars, and then only 1.4K 1 stars. It seems like people are just genuinely really enjoying this film right now. Great movie, animation was fun, characters were great, engaging story, and it was funny. They did nail a lot of the humor in this film, and lately I feel with, superhero films, we have seen a lot of comedy be shoved into them, and unfortunately a lot of the comedy is just very stale and doesn't work. Look at something like Love and Thunder, right? They took it in a complete comedic direction, and it just didn't work, even though you did have people who have done comedy in the past, right? Like Chris Hemsworth. He's been a funny Thor, but they just could not nail the jokes. But this movie is, again, very different. They were able to nail the jokes, they were able to nail the pacing, and they did not overdo it. It just was a very well-balanced experience. Loved it, will not disappoint, mesmerizing the whole way through, super amazing. The visuals were nuts. This to me was the number one reason why I was excited for it, were the visuals. The visuals in the first were very breathtaking. They were very unique, very new. And actually, lately, we've seen a few video games be announced that kind of copy the Across the Spider-Verse art style, and I think that this is going to be a trend going forward. I think we are going to see more movies like this. I think we are going to see video games, entertainment in general with this art style. But yes, right now, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is doing fantastic at the box office. On social media, people are raving about it. On Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb, people are rating this movie extremely positively, and I know people cannot wait for Beyond the Spider-Verse in early 2024. Luckily, we don't have to wait too long for it, though. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this and of course found it important and informative, please make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.